It's tabletop time.
I'm Jazza.
I'm Dave.
I'm Jen.
I'm Rob.
And we are streaming this live on Twitch. That's why we have tears in our eyes from laughter. We've been having a really good time. But if you want to join, you can follow us on Twitch. Also, our whole campaign will be in podcast form. You can check it out. Links in the description. Or you can go to itstabletoptime.com/podcast. And Patreon is also another plug that I'm going to put in here, because making this campaign and all the one-shots and all that stuff possible is really in large part due to the kind support of our patrons who vote on the one-shots and sometimes appear as guest NPCs. Really fun perks in there. Really cool way to sort of connect with us directly. We have like a sort of private Discord group and all this stuff. It's really cool. So go check that out. Links to all those are in the description. But one of the most important plugs we need to make is to Black Magic Design, who have sponsored Tabletop Time, brought us back from the dead with their black magic goodness. They are a family of software and hardware. In particular, if you want to be a filmer or a streamer, cinematographer, color grader, whatever, they cover so much. And if you start in the Black Magic family of products, you'll be covered in every aspect and in every stage of your development from the very beginning, which is free, because DaVinci Resolve 17, which is their newest version, has awesome features, is better than every other editing software in the world, and it's free. It is incredible. Honestly, the color grading tab in particular is like, it feels like sculpting for me. It's amazing.
I can't wait to learn how to use it. I did video editing in uni briefly for like 1 unit, and like getting involved in all this, I'm inspired.
So good.
And I've seen DaVinci Resolve. I'm like, hey, accessible and free.
Yeah,
that sounds like me.
They have these tabs like audio and like color grading and editing, and that are like huge production like suites, but also it can be intimidating for people who don't need all that stuff. They have the cut page, which is all of it but really simple for people who just want to cut a vlog or a stream. It's really simple. So thank you, Blackmagic, for the equipment, for making all of this possible. That is everything we need to say to get started into an exciting campaign that we're all sharing together. This is episode 1. In a cyberpunk world, there has been an intro, history, character, brief setting thing that we've put out there, and Dave has also made a PDF. So if you want to dive into a little bit more of how the mechanics of some of this has been adapted from Cogent Roleplay into the cyberpunk setting, you can check that out in the description. But I think we should dive into it and let our narrator take over, maybe intro a bit of the world, characters, and let's get role-playing. Let's roll, as they say. Cool. As I'm saying a lot now, because someone said it in a comment.
It's time to roll.
So we've just come off the back of the character creation and world setting. So we don't really want to dive into that too much, but do you just want to introduce your characters in one sentence, your names, and...
Do we want to go to the settings and introduce our characters in those settings?
Well, we'll do the... We've done the main setting. We'll do the extreme locale. So you guys are located, where we're going to start the setting, is basically what was once the northwestern suburbs of Melbourne in Australia. A cyberpunk setting in Australia?
Oh my god!
Whoa.
That's different to things I've seen around
unusual,
the place.
It's different, it's nice.
It's not Cyberpunk 2077?
No, it's Cyberpunk 2090.
Oh.
REBOOT.EXE.
Well, this isn't what I clicked for, but it's probably going to be better.
Well, less buggy, actually. So... Sorry.
Ooh, too soon.
I can't wait to play 2077, but I've abstained completely because I don't want to get ideas
fresh.
That I haven't looked at anything, but I really want to play it in like 6 months. Basically, the area around Melbourne has become known as the Ven. It's effectively where two worlds collide, from the inner city and the wage slaves and corporate workers that exist there, and the slummers who, in their untold millions, are sprawled out, stretching off into the wastelands. Now, northwestern Victoria is now basically industrial and mining, so it's not very nice out there, whereas southeastern Victoria is actually known as the agricultural exclusion zone. The thing being excluded is you slummers and wastrels are not allowed there, because only wealthy people who like the look of green grass and cattle are allowed out there, because it's basically a reserved piece of arable agricultural land. Is that the right word? Arable?
Yeah. I don't know what it means, but I'm assuming you're smarter than me. So.
Great. Assume that.
Yeah. Ariel. I love the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, that's the one. So we'll be beginning. We'll actually be beginning in the Verge, and the Ven. The Verge. Where did that come from? We'll be beginning in the Ven, and we're actually going to take the story up where Rob's character. Well, I'll get you guys to introduce yourselves briefly. So,
Do you have the picture ready?
just I will get it ready one by one. I'll get you to introduce yourself, and then I'll get to Rob doing his thing.
Cool.
Just tell us who you've got up first.
Rob. No, you, Jazza.
Me.
You're up first.
All right. Do we? Okay, cool. I'll just do super brief because we've done the more extensive one. But I'm
Just a one sentence.
I'm Prodigy or Pro-Digi. I am a hacker. I was raised by drug and human traffickers and escaped them. I was human trafficked and used as a pawn to help them hack and do hardware and haywire stuff. I've escaped. I'm 19 years old, on the run. I was originally part of this organization that was based in America and am a stowaway and am hiding in Melbourne suburbs.
Cool.
Cool.
And who's next is... Oh, it's come to Eve.
So I am a drone, pretty much your standard sort of nurse bot. I came from a family that is a bit older. They had a baby that was a bespoke, which we'll go into later. They had the perfect baby, and I was to take care of it. And basically, time's passed. The parents have died and passed on, and I've decided to go rogue.
And lastly,
I am Sebastian Allen. I am a tailor-made human. I am the son of some very well-known, well-off scholars and technologists, and I've basically gone out and forging my own path as a scholar, and investigating and learning about the dregs of society.
That's a... You might as well call us the basket of deplorables.
the basket of deplorables.
You are a basket of deplorables.
Okay, well, great. That does it then.
So,
Cool.
I believe...
We are your thesis. Your guinea
Yeah,
pigs.
literally. Well, you know, one of my theses.
Theses? Thesi?
Theses?
Now,
Too close to feces.
so before this session, we've talked a little bit about like when we were spitballing our characters around, and a little bit of narrative came up that I really liked. So we basically have Prodigy, this sheltered hacker type character who's hunkering down, and he's very socially isolated and very distrusting and worried that he's actually being hunted by the gang that he has fled. We're international smuggling ring. This is big crime syndicate stuff. It's not low tier. But over a course of days and weeks, he found this drone, this strange female character just sort of standing out in the rain, doing not a whole lot of anything. And at first he ignored it. And then slowly and surely, he kept paying attention to it and eventually realized that this drone seemed to have no master and could be of use. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think in particular, there was a moment of interruption when I was out there near her one day, because I had to, look, Pro, as he likes to think of himself, it's more like a hacker alias, the Prodigy thing. He doesn't have a real name that he knows anyway. Has to go out and get food or steal it or whatever, because he still has to survive. But he's very sleuthy and very stealthy, and this is a drone he's kept noticing out of the corner of his eye in the same place, doing the same sort of weird repetitive tasks. I think at one point in particular, someone came up to the drone, to Eve, and started to interact or say something, and I sort of came in to defend her.
Eve had been generally just pleasant to you, and at some point basically an agent of the police force came up, and it appeared as if they were going to be like, you're defective, like we're going to decommission you, like, drone, what are you doing here? And then you kind of were just there at that right time to be like, no, she's mine, she's mine.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. She's I'm working it out.
So in a way, you saved her life. Whether she comprehends that or not is unclear.
Cool.
But you've been basically living together now for several weeks, getting more comfortable. She's been going on errands for you. And while you're keeping her at arm's length, is my understanding, she is slowly breaking that down, just because why wouldn't you trust a drone? She's a robot.
It's just a drone, right?
Just a drone.
What is there to care about a drone? But while I didn't think it was, I don't know, there was something in me that thought it was unfair, even though, again, it's just a drone. It might have been a waste or something. So I thought, okay, I'll save you from the scrap heap. You can come back to my place for a little bit, and you can just hang out for a day, but, sort yourself out and, find your own place or find your new home or whatever. But over the coming weeks, she made herself very useful. She's a caretaker, and I've never had family or parents or anyone. So I'm like, I like go out to like steal some food or something, and I come back and with nothing or barely anything, and there's like a hot meal prepared, and my bed's been made, and wait, I have a bed now, like that sort of thing. So all of a sudden, it's just like I pretty quickly was happy to slip into a bit of comfort and maybe just thinking, you know, okay, you'll sort yourself out when you sort yourself out. I'm not gonna let myself feel like this is a forever thing because nothing is, but I can deal with this for now.
So these in roleplay, these are the ties that bind. This is what's establishing our characters for our narrative drive forward, so that we're bound together. We don't want to have people skewing off in different directions because it's a story we're all telling together. So it's good to have these things established from an early stage, I think. And on that note, Sebastian, there are some things about your character that we'll be keeping a little bit quiet for now. But you have, through your connections and your intense ingenuity, you've actually traced someone connected to the thing you're looking for, to this area of the van.
Okay.
So you know that he might be the sort of person who could find the information you need, and that you should probably find something he needs so that you can work together to get your
What has he
combined
seen
goal.
of us or observed of
He's
us, aside from being pointed towards us?
Quietly been watching you while he's been researching people in the van. But you specifically, he's managed to get information through various brokers, paid people, bribed people, just for you. And he's one of the eyes that you've noticed has been watching you. But he doesn't look hard-edged. He seems generally like he's trying to help people around here. So just for one more little bit of flavor on where you are, the Ven is basically a booming and busting area of like ingenuity and civilization, but it is kind of with a twist of darkness, because this is the area where slummers get access to money, resources, equipment, that kind of stuff, because of the wage slaves or the city folk who want to day pass out of the city. Why would they want to do that? No cameras.
Yeah.
No one's watching. The kinds of things we find in dystopian cyberpunk settings, the slummers are often willing to let the city folk do whatever it is they want to do for money, no holds barred. It is lawless, with one exception. The area is really important to the slummers. So the gangs that kind of have protection rackets and control the area, they won't let things go too far against anyone from the city. Shake them down, that's fine. Kill them, we have a problem, because as soon as people start dying, the wage slaves will stop coming out and bringing their money. So there's a level of like, we'll rattle them a bit and we'll exploit them, but there's a level of protection there. And the second level of protection is occasionally city patrols of police force and robots will come out and basically do a sweep. They don't really care about illegal activities. What they're looking for is any kind of like high-level criminal that they have records on from the cities that might be coming out, a registered citizen. Or secondly, they'll be coming out to basically ensure that the people of the city are safe. So they'll like sweep through, but it's uncommon. Occasionally you'll be lucky enough if you're a city folk and some guy pulls a knife who's desperate and tries to mug you, and there will be a cop there and help you. But if it's two slummers, they won't even look twice. They'll just walk past and let it happen. But they help, like you, the city folk are basically digitally branded. You have chips in your wallet and stuff, and the police, when they look at you, it immediately shows up in their like visors, your identification and who you are. So if you're a city folk, they recognize you, and they'll protect you. If not, good luck.
Yeah.
They're not feeling charitable.
Cool. So the day our
campaign launches, Sebastian, you have just walked through the checkpoint from the Ven, coming from the city out into the wider Ven. And there's basically a checkpoint that spans the entire perimeter. It's a digital checkpoint. There's not a huge amount of physical walls, but there are robots and cameras, and it's like as you go through, it's that kind of like beep, beep, like chip doesn't get detected, and then every camera turns and like enforcers come to you. There are a few secret criminal ways, like underground through sewage and stuff through, but yeah, generally you literally cannot go into the city if you're not registered. But you've just come through this checkpoint and you're heading down into the town to basically try and broker some kind of arrangement with this character you've been tracking. And you know now, because only a couple of weeks ago they launched New You, you think you have the bargaining chip that no slumber could resist.
Cool.
So you stride out into the area and begin basically looking around. You guys can be wherever you want, maybe running an errand so he can get you guys to bump into each other and he can actually have a chance at approaching.
I'm going to say on this day, and on many at this point, look, Pro wants to stay out of sight as much as possible. His presence is very much online and in his hacking and all that stuff. And if he can get the means to survive without moving or going somewhere, he will do it. And especially since he's got a carebot, he's started to feel pretty comfortable sort of saying, hey, you know, maybe you want to get us some, I don't know, whatever it is you made last night. That was really nice. More of that.
Query. Should I call you Pro Digigi or Pro or Pro Digi?
You can just call me Pro.
Understood.
All right, bye. You can go now.
She starts walking out. So you're inside your
I'm
house.
staying in our, like, I wouldn't say house. It's like attic
your
or
little-
something. Yeah, like hovel. It's like the Cyberpunk version of Aladdin's little place he's made himself, sort of through alleyways and you know.
So Sebastian, you have ducked into this alleyway. You finally tracked him, and you see this drone step out and start to walk away. Make a perception check.
Oh, I didn't have my numbers on them anymore.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Where are my dice?
We all have our own individual little dicey baggies.
Biggies.
It was good. I like it.
Biggies.
Color coded. Because I respect you.
Base 3 plus attributes is 6 plus perception. 1, 2, 3,
Whoa, that was a
4, 5.
really good
The
roll.
challenge level for this was 3.
Oh, I got 7.
Okay, not only do you notice something, but you notice something very suspicious. There are 2 people that are ready, like they're in the alleyway and they're concealed. They're kind of smoking around a corner, and but they are dangerous-looking people, and they're not here without purpose. Like they're clearly onto something, or whatever it could be. But they're lurking sort of just a bit further past the door that Eve walked out of.
Okay. Can I walk into the door?
You walk past Eve. So Eve, you just sort of strut a few steps, and you're sentient. You notice, but you're hiding it, right? You notice this man approach the door that no one else has approached as he walks past. You just let him pass and keep going about your duties.
Do I? Can I?
Can I nod politely at her as I walk?
Of course. Unusual.
Okay,
Why would you be
yeah.
polite to a drone? You're such a nice person.
I am a nice
Does he
person.
have any wounds?
You might
or-
want to clear your dice after.
Clear your mess.
Yeah.
Does he have any wounds or noticeable
This guy?
Yeah.
Oh, you've registered databases. You know he's a bespoke straight away. He is
Oh,
a city.
of course, yeah,
He's
cool.
a city folk. He's a bespoke, and
Yeah.
he is
So he's in
very
good health.
very unusual for him to be here.
Yeah.
He's probably a runaway based on what you're understanding.
I'll look at you kind of like, so you've gone past, and I'll turn around and kind of like give a really good visual, but I'll let you pass and I'll keep going because you're not hurt. So
Cool.
You shall pass.
have a nice day.
And you approach the door.
No, I want to. Is it open or is it
No,
locked?
well, it's closed. I'm assuming it probably wouldn't be locked as you just let it shut behind you. But you might be going to
I
go
wouldn't
and
have seen her leave.
So you're like-
I picture this as upstairs. I think she's made her way down.
Cool. Did you lock the door? Oh, you know what? Destiny roll.
yeah.
Did you lock the door? So a 10. I'm going to say you closed it adequately. It's not like left ajar, but you didn't bother to lock it. It's just left unlocked.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I just want to try and open it, walk through.
Cool. The door handle opens. With your high perception roll from before, you hear there's a sort of gentle bluster of movement behind you.
Yeah, can I lock the door behind me?
You close the door, and yes, you slide. I'm assuming
Massive, like, series of deadbolts.
like 5 locks behind you. And you are now in the room. Oh, well, downstairs in this horrible little, like, I'm imagining like dripping pipes and mildew, and like, aside from the fact that you've taken care of a lot of it, it's neat filth because
Organised
you can't fix the fundamental like wreckage.
That is.
That's upgraded from what it was 2 weeks ago.
Stairs lead up, and I'm assuming the glow and flicker of many monitors is sort of like emanating down the staircase. Is there any sound, or have you got headphones on?
Headphones.
Cool.
Pro always has blaring music, and that's a habit that he had from his traumatic upbringing where he needed to drown out horrible noises, and usually he did that with blaring music. So, yeah.
Cool.
He's coding.
I'm going
He's
to
got
walk up
headphones
the
on.
stairs.
You head up the stairs. Make a perception check, and you're imperceptive.
I am
That's what
imperceptive.
you're checking, aren't
That's
you?
what I'm checking.
Make sure you get it.
So my imperceptive disabling characteristic means... Actually, I'll just go to the actual rule book.
And I'm also going to get Eve to make a perception check as she leaves the alleyway. So whoever gets there first can roll the dice.
Cannot apply standard base 3d6 to environmental perception rolls.
This is definitely environmental perception.
Cool.
roll.
So I can against people's...
So your perception is only that?
Yeah, because
So 3 base plus 2 stats plus 2. So that's 7 dice.
oh,
So when I need to notice things that are happening around me,
It was challenge level 3. Yes.
but against people's deception or persuasion, I have my normal roll.
Yeah, of course. So
Alright.
you're looking at and you're looking at a
So I don't get
bad
my
time.
base 3.
And you're looking at like probably perception. You're looking at like challenge level 4.
Yep, well, I have 2 dice.
Or we could oppose it.
I got
They
2.
both pass.
So that's 2 out
I'm
of...
going to get you to roll a stealth check rather than doing a challenge level.
So
I'm
your
gonna get you
challenge
to make
level is 2.
Make a stealth check.
Hey!
1. I'm not trying to be stealthy.
Yeah, so you just walk in, and so even though you're completely imperceptive, you almost like feel that prickle on the back of your neck of like, wait, that's not the footfalls of Eve.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be back this early. But you just hear like someone walking up the stairs.
Do I have a weapon? That's the question.
Can I just start talking once I realise he's noticed me?
I'll let him react.
Do you
first.
realise I've
And then
noticed
we'll
you?
get to what
Well, I
Eve's
wasn't
done
trying to
as
be
well.
stealthy. I was walking and looking for
I
him.
just slipped the headphones down, but I'm wearing a hood, so they're under my...
So your only weapon that you can think of right now would be your cybermancy.
Okay.
But
So
you
I'm
don't
just-
know the opponent or the target that's coming up the stairs yet.
No. Can we destiny roll to see? Because I'm a paranoid person. And here's my pitch to you, narrator.
What do you
that I may have prepared some sort of things in place that I could trigger with my cybermancy to sort of...
Yeah,
as
okay.
a last defense. Just
Yeah,
destiny
yeah.
roll, see
that
what
makes
I get.
sense. I was going to say, what combat proficiencies do you have? Only the cybermancy?
Yeah. Anarchistic cybermancy.
And another helpless
Right down
result.
the
So
middle.
you have probably set up. There's nothing that's going to be overtly like destructive to something that doesn't have anything, but you've got like amplifiers in your facility. So if a robot came in, you're confident that it would like boost your potential,
Yeah.
or anyone with cybernetics, which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you would have an advantage with your like transmitters and receivers and boosters in your room to basically like fry electronics. So pretty much anyone dealing with electronics is going to be in trouble if they come up the stairs and you decide to do some frying.
Not quite sure.
Am I in the same room as...
Your like head is coming up the stairwell.
I'm gonna Pro at this point is a bit of a deer in headlights as far as like he's never been he's remained hidden for a long time successfully, and maybe in the last few weeks, let's face it, has gotten a little bit complacent. So his heart's dropped in his chest. He's pulled his headphones out, and he's preparing his cybermancy, and he's just about to. He's ready to do anything he can to just stop someone and just bolt. If it means smashing glass and jumping out the window, he's psyching himself up.
As you're about
do
to
that.
open your mouth, I'm going to cut to Eve because we got you to roll a perception check. How many successes did you get?
3.
3 successes, which was the challenge level. You, right as you're turning out of the alleyway, you notice that there's a sort of brief flurry of movement towards the door of a couple of figures that seem to have been following someone who just went in the door that you've never seen go in the door.
Yeah, I'll go back.
So you turned. Yes. And you see them rattling at the door and unable to get in. And you hear now that your headphones off, there's like a rattling at the door. And now you get an opportunity to speak. Sebastian.
I was going to put on a voice, but I don't know what voice to do, so I'm just going to talk. That's not what I say. Pleasure to meet you.
How did you get in here?
There's two surly-looking gentlemen trying to make their way in that we might need to deal with before we get down to business.
What did they look like? Were they marked?
With your perception, they looked like gangers. They didn't look like just desperate people with knives.
How long have I been studying in the Ven?
Months, right? Like a month? A month?
Yeah, I didn't assume it was long.
Okay, 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
2-3 weeks.
Do I know what a ganger is?
You know enough with that perception roll to know that they had an implied threat behind them that was beyond a desperation. They were there with a purpose. They weren't like in the corner with a knife going to jump you. Like they were smoking around the corner, like monitoring and surveilling. They could be anyone. They could be Corp.
Yeah.
But you just know that they're there for purpose.
Surly-looking, aggressive-looking men.
And what am I supposed to make of you? Why are you here?
Well, if we can deal with them, we'll talk business. But until then, we need to deal with it.
Why is there a we all of a sudden?
Because I need something from you, and you need something from me.
You don't know what I need from anyone.
I beg to differ, sir.
Sir.
You're going to try and persuade him?
Yeah.
Would you like to do that?
Do it.
Bring it.
Bring it. Oh, you're good at persuasion. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's that dice pool.
I've been fighting and arguing my theses for 3 decades.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 successes.
And I have 5 dice.
So you can't win.
I'm not even going to roll.
So in the moment, he's basically convinced you that, like, at least for now, he's not here. He hasn't hurt you. He's a bespoke. That's weird. He's not a ganger.
I have questions for you, but we'll get to that in a moment. I'm just going to check these guys out. And I sit down, turn on my laptop, and hack into my systems because there's obviously cameras on the streets and blah, blah, blah. I want to see who is talking about.
Okay, so almost every other circumstance you do this, I'm going to get you to make a check. But for the immediate cameras that you probably installed around your property,
Yeah.
you just can do it. Like if you were hacking a city camera, sure.
Yeah.
But
But
these cameras,
I've set up
you've got it's your
surveillance,
setup.
yeah.
So you can immediately see these two sort of strange. They're wearing like heavy dusters, and they're like rattling at the door. And you see that Eve has turned around and taken 2 steps towards them, down the alleyway.
I have a terrible perception roll, environmental perception roll, but I'm going to roll anyway. Which
Can I see the cameras he's looking at?
You do not have ocular bionics, so yes. Assuming you're looking at a screen.
I guess he
Ocular
can, yeah.
bionics is one of the cybernetic implants that are covered in my PDF.
All right. I have 2 dice. I just want to see if let's say it's challenge level 2 to sort of see. I don't know. What can I?
I'm sorry, are you telling me?
No,
what
I'm
the
asking.
challenge
I'm
level is?
proposing. I'm
So
proposing.
What are you trying
I
to
have
look
2
for?
dice. I just want to
What are
see
you trying to look
if I
for?
can see what they're connected to. If there's any sort of connection I can see with them, with the people I was a part of.
Okay. So that, yeah, that's probably going to be like a challenge level 5.
Oh.
They're like they're in dusters in a street looking through surveillance cameras, like they're deliberately concealing their identity. You to specifically determine like who they're connected with, you don't know. You don't need to roll to know that they mean bad news.
All right. Can we destiny roll to sort of see what sort of backup escapes I have? Because surely there'll be something.
I'm not much use in a fight, so I hope you've got some way of dealing with them.
That's the third 10. It's the indecisive 10. You know what? Destiny. I'm taking destiny in my own hands. 16. All right. Yes, you do. You have. There's probably a latch, like you pull down, and a sheet metal piece opens up to like this because you're on the 2nd floor onto like the roof line.
Yeah.
And there is also likely to be another one on the 1st floor.
You may not have a weapon, but how are you with heights?
Oh, we're fine with that.
I just walk over, sort of not paying much attention to him, but he's obviously not meaning me any harm, and there's obviously another threat, which he has pointed out. So credit where it's due, I head over to the latch, open it up, and start climbing through. If he can follow me and keep up.
And you're planning on
it's up
so
to
the
him.
escape is the plan. All right, Eve, what are you doing?
I actually have to quickly mention something. My disabling characteristic that I have. How are we going to...
Is this a mystery? This is a mystery.
At
disabled
certain
characters.
times,
Will you tell me to make a roll?
I'll
for
tell
it?
you
Okay,
that
cool.
it needs to happen.
Yep, no worries. All right, cool. I'll just keep walking towards the gentleman.
That it needs to happen. What it is will
What
be
could it
revealed in the
be?
course of time.
Who knows? So what do? You walk
I'll
towards
keep
them.
walking towards them.
Towards them, there's two people outside. Oh boy.
I'm gonna have to do something with my dice.
3 successes. I don't need to tell you the challenge level of my own secret rolls that I'm making to myself. Okay. One of them turns as you approach and looks at you. Looks you up and down. And then knocks elbows the other one, and they turn back at you. And
Evening,
What the hell are you
visitors.
doing around here?
I can see that you require some assistance.
they step towards you. The second one starts rounding behind you. And this is happening while you were having that conversation. What kind of assistance can you offer?
You seem to be lost.
The one behind, one gets within arm's length of you as he's rounding behind you. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where I want to be.
Do they hurt at all?
No, they're completely unhurt.
Okay.
And you get a look, and one of them has facial tattoos all over his face. And you can't look at his face properly. His face, to you, is just going... and static and scrambling and moving all over. You can tell there's these tattoos underlying it, but it is messing with your vision in a very bizarre way.
Sir, you appear to be hurt. Your face.
I ain't hurt, honey. And then the guy that gets next to you flips, grabs the back of your skirt or whatever you wear. I've seen your character art, and flips it up, and then he's just "Don't worry about it, mate. She ain't a pleasure unit."
I suggest you leave my proximity, or else I'll call the law enforcement.
She's plucky, mate. All right, we were just leaving anyway. And he gives her a little nod, looks back at the door, and he says, "But we'll be back." And then they sort of brush past you unnecessarily, aggressively, and then walk down the street.
So, from our vantage point, do we see...
The worst people ever.
do we
Do you hate them yet? Hate them. Hate them and end them later.
Do we see, from our vantage point and the escape route, anything happen?
So you clamber around kind of to the other side of the thing and clamber across, up onto the rooftop. And then, I guess, where are you headed from there?
I would have a comms, and obviously, people have phones and blah, blah, blah. I would have hacker equivalents of, blah, blah, blah. That's my way of explaining
Cool.
it. They're my words. That's all you get. But we're on the sort of rooftop ledge thing, sort of scrambling around the back halfway down an alley or whatever. And I'm, tapping into that same security system that I saw, just sort of seeing how that's dissipating. Do I have a comms will I have in the last few weeks created a comms to communicate with Eve to maybe while she's out and about be maybe grab one of these or
Yeah, I'd say you could, do you trust her enough to have given her some kind of communication system?
I think in the last few weeks of her basically waiting hand and foot over me and it being more convenient. Cool. I'm always about to I'm always keen to set things up in place to make things convenient so I don't have to go out. So I would say communication would be something I'd say.
Bing bong! Bing bong! Your phone goes off in your ear. I told you I'm an amateur at controlling audio and narrating and everything. Wait, there is it.
I think you need to do sound next time, Rob. Because he's in narrator mode, which is...
Yeah.
He's doing very
I
well.
clicked it.
I don't know if he's got you turned down.
We'll sort it out later.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
bing bong, bing bong. Click, pick up. Hey, Eve.
Hello, Pro.
I think our position has been compromised. Those guys you interact with, they're bad news. So I'm going to find another place. I'll touch base with you when I get something established.
Understood. I will sit here for 4 hours.
All right. I guess that's what you do. Actually, you know what? Can you move somewhere? Because I take it
Understood.
back. Can you get into my room and deal with my equipment? The stuff I showed you, the important stuff, keep that, hide it, or take it with you. But the rest we can scrap. We've got to set up somewhere else.
Understood.
Cool. And I'm going to say we can fast track a little bit to when you rendezvous with Eve, and you get a moment to finally.
Should we destiny roll to see how smooth it went, or how?
You love the destiny roll. You love it. You love it.
I don't know,
Because if I roll a 1 and then I have to like smack you with a log.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's an interesting story.
For narrative purposes and time purposes,
Yeah.
we're going to meet up
Let's do
together. Okay, so you all gather together after maybe an hour or two of weaving and ducking, and then you set up a rendezvous, and you get an opportunity to basically pitch your case.
All right. I've had a few little nooks that I'd tracked and set aside and sort of locked off from other people accessing. So I find one of that feels pretty obscure and a little more separate from the street. I think the other one was a little too risky. So I lead Seb there and tell Eve where to find us, bring some of my equipment, walk in, dust myself off, say, all right, what is it? Why me?
I've just heard of your name in certain circles, and I wanted to get an audience with you.
What circles? That part matters.
The nefarious kind.
Shit. What do you have to do with the nefarious kind?
Well, I'm after information mostly, and connections. So I'd like to know a little bit more about your history within these circles.
I don't have a history. What's your history?
You know that not to be true.
Yeah.
Tell me about your history. Why are you in the slums?
I told you, I'm looking for information.
For?
A variety of things. I'm studying the people
If
that
you
live
want
here.
answers, you're going to have to give answers.
We'll see.
If you want obscure answers and non-answers, then keep doing what you're doing, because that's what you're going to get.
What do you want most in the world?
Jesus. Is that off a card? Do you have an app with, like, meaningful questions? Or are we just wasting time?
I love
'Cause
this character already. This is really good.
Let's cut to the chase here. You're connected with people, probably people I don't like, probably people I've escaped from, and I don't want anything to do with. So if I can have nothing to do with you, that's probably going to be my best option. I want less to do with the people we just got away from, which, thank you, by the way. I thought I'd kept an eye on them, but obviously not.
Does it not seem a bit odd that if I was in with these people, I would not warn you about them?
Look, a lot of this seems odd to me, if I'm going to be honest. And I don't like any of it, but I've got to deal with what I have to deal with, and you're in front of me right now, so.
What do you want most in the world?
Something else.
Something else.
Just. I cut myself from saying a new start, and then I cut myself off because it's like too trite.
Momentarily.
Destiny roll 11. Less indecisive.
It's that time, Eve.
Eve is in the room.
So I stand up. I've been sitting in the corner of the room just listening to your conversation. I'll stand up and say, "It's time to feed the baby," and I'll leave.
I'm sorry, what?
I leave.
Just
I'm
walks out.
I just look over at.
So maybe
Seb
you're not as
and-
far removed from your previous life as I seem to think you are.
You don't know anything about my previous life.
I think I know a bit more than you expect.
Stop playing coy with me. What do you want? Who are you?
No, I asked you, what do you want most in life? I'm a man of means and connections.
Tell me about your means and connections, and I might tell you about what I actually want.
Look at me. You know what I am.
I know you're a city boy with money. That's obvious.
A lot of money.
There are a few of those.
A lot of money.
So what makes you special, and why should I care?
Well, I'm standing in a room with you trying to negotiate something that you want in exchange for information
What
and connections.
is it? Get to it. I don't have time for this shit. I start pulling out my phone and start, like, setting up my next basis of operations.
Cool.
And just, like, really getting frustrated with this guy who is just skirting around the edges of getting to something. Not tempting with anything substantially yet.
Well, I mean, I basically offered anything.
Not in those terms.
I asked you what you wanted most in life.
Yeah, that's like a meaningful question. You didn't say, what can I make happen for you? Or, you don't know.
I'll briefly interject by saying that this just doesn't happen for a slummer.
Okay.
Like, for someone to come in from the big city and be like, this is a big opportunity.
Okay, wait.
I know you don't want it. I know
I'm
you're
acting.
scared.
No. I'm acting coy, but I'm looking him up.
Oh, okay.
So I pull up my phone.
I'm going to get you
Yeah.
to make a hacking check.
Yeah, I'm going to make a hacking.
So that's
check.
infiltration, technically, for
Yep.
hacking.
Okay, I can do that. So I'm playing coy.
So how are you doing this discreetly?
I'll have to roll a deception as well.
Yes, because now if you had, say, discrete onboard computing, a cybernetic that's covered in the PDF, you would be able to do that.
Yeah. I don't have
So
that.
his deception is matched against my perception.
So the deception to perception, yes. But
Shit!
We'll probably see what he's doing, but
Alright.
that's fine.
I got 2.
Was that the deception?
That's my deception
Okay,
roll.
cool.
Not my hacking
Do I bother
roll.
rolling?
You might roll.
Yeah,
absolutely
go on,
nothing.
roll. I've
you
got
always
2.
roll.
You could suck, man.
I could. Statistically, I could.
Please suck.
2
2!
Wow.
But that's a success.
Wow.
for the passive member.
I'm going to use a destiny point.
Oh, you use a destiny
I use
point.
the destiny
okay.
point to succeed.
And that's risky for Jazza because he's playing a slummer. So if he always has
yeah.
2 points loaded, he can potentially learn a skill if he's using like permanently gain a
Yeah.
skill. So it's risky for. Oh no, you've picked the character class, but you can't throw destiny and everything.
That's true. Crap.
Cool. So you actually deceive him. Now let's get that.
I am going to hack. I hope this is not wasted because I want to hack
rid of
well.
this filthy dice.
All right. So this is an infiltration check, or is it a hacking check, or do I?
What
do-
are the
It's
thank you.
infiltration.
What are the chances?
Hack it.
Can I get a
you can
stat
use
check on
hacker
that?
as a vocation assist, but technically in the rules, hacking is covered under infiltration.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, is that?
Doesn't
okay.
he have a skill for it?
I do.
That's a vocation. So I said it's hacking as an actual thing is in infiltration in the rules.
Can I? What's the challenge level to find information about?
So to
this
find
person?
information about you, well, I'm going to let you guide me a little bit on that. How secret? Your parents you're published, right?
Yeah.
Based on appearance, you can, I guess, reverse search. Have you given your name?
No.
I'm going to say challenge level 4.
Okay. Oy. Okay.
It's because he hasn't given you a name or anything to go off. It is a bit hard.
Oh, 4.
You find information, so you basically get that he is the son of a pair of scientists and a scientist himself. Reputed, no criminal record, no connections to anything nefarious at all, and there's not much aside from basically his research, which would be in what field? What have you published on?
It's very varied.
Varied.
Very
Anything
varied.
standard? Anything?
Yeah.
that
Now
would
give
clickbait?
me the juicy deets. What have I found? Like his.
Well, I'm a
wealthy-
technologist, so I'm probably into technology. So my parents were also technologists, so creation of technology. I'm happy for you to
You find juicy tidbit.
actually.
I'll let you go. What do you got?
I feel like I should have declared it before I made my character, but I just think it would be really interesting if my character's focus was on creating technology that he would be interested in using.
Yeah, that's
As in,
well. What
like-
I was about to say is the tidbit that you find out that it. Well, you know what? This is a good Destiny Dice moment. Oof. So
8.
nothing too like juicy in terms of like direct connections, but there is one tidbit that catches your eye more than otherwise would, which is his parents actually are directly connected with professionally in the science community, corporate scientists in the Reboot Corporation responsible for creating New You. And the reason he's such a god, this is reading between the lines, he is a damn perfect specimen of a bespoke. And it's probably because of the personal connections with the best geneticists in the country.
Okay. All right. So I've put all this together. I don't want him to know what I know about him. That's sort of my modus operandi.
Cool. And you passed your deception check,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
I reluctantly tuck my phone away and say, all right, I'll hear you out. But I need to know the catch because you want something from me.
I do.
So I'm
Where
going to
do we
give you guys
start?
a broad
Yeah.
thing. You know one irrefutable fact about living in the van, and that is that nobody survives alone. If you want anything, you need to basically become a gang. You need a posse. You need rep, because everything is ladder, climbing, brick upon brick. You need to have connections. You need to establish the network that will allow you to gain access to the people, the places, the money, the things to get you what you want. Information, new start, closure.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Do you, well, also Dave, to you too, are we starting with fusion? Was Jazza starting with any fusion?
That's a good question.
Way to spoil it.
Oh.
No, not really. Not really. So, I will say, so you escaped, right? Another Destiny point.
Want to see what fusion I have with me.
No, that's not what you're getting.
No, 15.
You escaped. You've put 2 and 2 together. You were basically forced to take various substances while you were effectively, like, not always like good things, like drugs and stuff, like mind altering, whatever they wanted to affect you. And you've realized that one of those drugs that you were forcibly injected with was, in fact, fusion, which is good, right? You've got cybernetics that you didn't want, and you've had these injections your whole life. When you ran, you only managed to grab enough. And in the last 4 or 5 weeks of living here, you've run out. You're not overdue a dose. You only need 1 dose a week with your current level, but you've got none.
Is it time for a dose?
You're probably like 3 days into your, like, you got another 3 or 4 days before you'd need a dose.
All right.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
going to come back into the room, because I'm done, and say, bro, it is 3 days until your next fusion.
Oh, shit. Oh, God. Do you know where did you last see some? Where can I?
Me.
You're connected, aren't you?
I can get my hands on some.
Okay, I guess that's where we start. You get me some fusion, or help me get some fusion, and I'll see what I can help you with.
Query, what is your name?
The name's Seb.
Shall I call you Seb?
Yes.
Understood.
Oh, you're amazing.
Where'd you pick this one up?
Oh, well, actually, she sort of picked me up. It's
Bro,
Anyway.
have you done your stretches for today?
not yet. She mothers me a bit. It's kind of embarrassing. It's usually not with other people around, but just ignore it. All right, okay, I'll go do my stretches. I like roll my eyes.
I'm like,
Don't worry, I'm totally doing my stretches
Side
right
effect of
now. I'm
withdrawal.
just gonna, and I start setting up my computer equipment.
What a good boy.
All right, I think that's probably
the first step is to become a gang, to become something more than you are as individuals. And our friend here, Pro, happens to know just the people he is reluctant to get in contact with, not your old networks, because you wouldn't, but you've watched enough to know that the local gang, all of them, all exist around Ugly. And Ugly's workshop is the, like, neutral ground in this part of the Ven. That's where you get your connections, that's where you get your jobs, and that's where you get your start. So if you are going to go and talk to anyone, it's going to be Ugly in Ugly's Motors.
all right. I turn to the others and meaningfully say, something tells me the next few weeks are gonna get ugly. Had to be done. Had to be done.
Love it.
Good place to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining Chapter 1 of our Cyberpunk campaign. The mystery is tantalizing.
I gotta say, I've loved our one shots. I am feeling this. I'm feeling this. This has got something.
This is just like the
Your
beginning.
characters.
It's brewing. I love the way Eva's role played.
I love that
doing
these
great.
Query.
Hey,
So,
oh my goodness, it's so good.
all right, cool. I guess we will reconvene next week on Twitch.
Absolutely.
Do you know what? I'm gonna try and release these maybe 24 hours before the next stream, just so people can like the episode. That I can't commit to that because
Well, it'll probably be 2 episodes.
there'll be
staggered.
multiple
It'll be
episodes.
complicated.
All right, I'm not gonna say. Never mind. Just keeping.
There will be a lot of content coming out in
There's
the
going to be
coming
a
weeks.
lot of content.
Yeah.
So
And
Yeah.
don't forget to vote on Patreon as well.
Yeah.
For the
Obviously,
launches
jump
too,
into
yeah.
all of our amazing things. jump on the socials. Hey, if you want more of those cool stuff,
Go
on.
follow Dave on Twitter. All the handles are there, all the socials are here, but you have been here with us. Thank you for watching, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
you next time.